I started out, I wanted to build the Cherokee pottery back up like they had it in the Southwest.
I learned how to make pots in high school under Patricia Kimbrell.
I started producing a style of pottery nobody else around here was doing.
It was Cherokee pottery. I did come from a long line of potters.
Ethel Big Meat, she was a potter back in the 30s. Unfortunately, she died in 42 of TB, but she was my grandmother. Once people find out now he's a Cherokee artist, it's respected because of the people that's come before us. It's also could be a hindrance. Not all people like Cherokees. If you want to find out how civilization was doing, the first language you're going to see is pottery. The archaeologists will take a look and see what kind of pottery was being made, and by the style of pottery, the decoration, shapes, forms, everything else that goes along with it, they will be able to tell you how this culture was doing. Oh man, they were surviving just fine. Look how beautiful their artwork was. Or if it was declining, the artwork was declining with it, because the amount of time it took to gather food and hunt took away from the time it took to create a beautiful piece of artwork. It has to be able to grow along with the culture itself. When I was doing my master's program at Western, I was studying ceramic producing cultures from around the world. And I was finding out how much similarity there was between all of them. The designs from the Mississippian period, they advanced like every culture does every few hundred years. They make a leap forward. And during the Mississippian period, that we're going from hunting, gathering peoples to farming societies, and the artwork took a huge jump. They had time to sit down and focus on artwork. Contacts were being made, and the designs that came out of that time period were so influential that it pretty much described the Southeast as a whole. That's one of the reasons I go back to it. The designs were so flowing. Not only were they functional, they were beautiful. I went back and studied the old styles of pots and was able to reproduce them and fire them hot enough to where you could actually cook with them on an open fire. For a culture to do well, the artwork has to evolve. Firing black, it is a type of firing where you choke the oxygen off. It produces a very heavy dark smoke when you fire in it, and the smoke just soaks into the pot and turns it black. There's several different ways of doing it. You can use horse manure, you can use cow manure, you can use goat manure, you can use pine bark. We'll all do the same thing. Right now it's white, a kind of a grayish white. When it comes out jet black is a completely different feeling. Personally, I just like the color black. It makes a very beautiful piece of work. Here in the continental United States, we didn't get up to doing the glaze work, but at the same time, we were doing slip work, which was just as beautiful. I can change the colors of it. Once that's fired onto the pot, I can take what is basically called a reduction slip and put over those colors, put the pot into reduction, and when I pull the pot out, remove that reduction slip, and my color is protected underneath it. I set out to be the most versatile artist there was. I carve wood, sculpt stone, I paint, play around with silver sometimes, I play around with gold sometimes, I play around with clay a lot. I'll go through stages to where I won't do nothing but wood for 6 months. Then I'll go through a stage where I may not do nothing but stonework for 3 months. Then I may go through a stage where I do ceramics. I've sacrificed a lot to keep Cherokee tradition alive. If we lose any more of our traditions, then we cease to be Cherokee at all. This one is got the rain clouds going across the top, the rain coming down, and you can see the lightning pattern at the bottom. I'll go out and gather my own clay and make my own pots, but nobody's following my footsteps. I may be the last Iroquois potter. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I mean, it is kind of sad.